So I'm implementing goal setting once a week in my classroom. I've chose to do one-on-one as I feel I can kind of get through the kids and help them understand individually where they're at. So they come back to me, we look at our addition, subtraction, their behavior, their reading based on their phonics fluency patterns for the that we've taught so far. And they just graph and see how they're doing and celebrate the wins.
I do rounding with staff in the district and also the techs round with staff in the district, and we take that information and we put it into PDSA cycles so that we can find out how to solve any barriers or issues that are affecting staff's ability to teach students and or barriers for student learning.
In my classroom, we have a goal this year that 100% of all science students that I teach will be proficient by the end of the year in every science standard, which is a lofty goal. And we started the year with kids, like letting them know this is our goal and we're gonna achieve it together, which is really exciting because we have been showing lots of growth and trying to build a classroom culture around this idea of like we succeed together. So part of the way that we've set up the classroom is to have a space in the classroom where goals are featured right at the front of the room. And we're tracking our progress at the front of the room as well so that as students enter the room, they always get a snapshot of where our class data is at.
Students set goals. We have them set goals for, doing their assessments, doing well, turning in homework, whatever they feel they need a goal for. But just like the rest of us, they struggle to maintain it. So we just have to keep revisiting it, keep hitting it over and over again, reminding them, encouraging them. And so that's what we do. We set goals for each of our standards. We set class goals, we set individual goals, and then we talk about how or what actions they need to take to help meet those goals.
So something I've started doing this year because of the district PD last year that we had regarding assessments, and in addition to our work this year trying to have more progress tracking and goals present in the classroom, is I took grades off of the actual physical work kids turn in, and I've only put grades into PowerSchool. So what ends up happening is when the kid gets their assignment back, they only have feedback, whether it's from me or whether it's from a peer. And their grades, they get time to check those in PowerSchool on Mondays. And in my 6th grade classes specifically, I have them tracking their grade data from PowerSchool in a separate progress tracker. And what I've noticed is that when kids get their work back now, they start using that feedback almost immediately. And that's no longer an endpoint. This is another stepping stone.
We have had 3 really kind of larger scale PDSAs where we did the planning cycle and we did a plus delta for the first, and for the second 2 we did the fish bones, and we were able to come to a plan that we implemented, and all 3 of those situations have brought us to a positive result where we can actually use the different data collections that we do to determine whether or not the original plan is working and make any quick adjustments to get it to the end goal.
So I use the data binders to keep track of our students' progress on our major assessments and check-ins. It's a way to organize and create a portfolio of their learning throughout the year. And then for the students, it's an opportunity for them to reflect on what they've done well on their assessments and what they still have opportunities for growth for, and make plans and SMART goals in order to work on that and make improvements.
They make small goals. I don't do year-long goals. I just want them to make set short term. And so we look at it each time. It might be a month, it might be 2 months, just to see how they're doing. And if they meet it, we make a new one, and if they don't, we adjust that goal and see what can we do next month.
I think kids are getting better at it, but I think I'm also getting better at it. So because I'm more aware of the student scores and where they're at and where we're moving, I've noticed the student this year who, she was earning ones at the beginning of the year, a student on an IEP, really struggling. And because we were able to identify where she was at and where she needed to go, we were able to put her in instructional groups, get her a lot of extra support. And then later, a month later, she's earning 2s, so she's demonstrating progress. And at this point, she's earning 3s. So it felt really great to snag that graph of her progress specifically, and to get to send that to her family and just like celebrate her for that work.
Just this week, I was working with an individual, and just seeing their light bulb, it's like the light bulb went on. Their eyes just shone as she was like, I didn't even know I was learning this much, because her graph was really just going in the right direction. And it's like, it just naturally is happening, but they don't see it until we start graphing it. So that was pretty exciting.
Just cases over the years where students have set their goals, and just the excitement they see at the end or somewhere in the process of where they've met their goals. It's different from, hey, a kid gets an A or B on a test that they took. Yeah, they're excited about it. But when they've set their own goals and then achieve it at some point in the semester or the year, that excitement is exponential, would be a good word for it. You see the difference in the attitude they have.
It definitely takes a lot of work at the beginning to help them practice it, understand how to do it, and then by the end of the year, the goal is that they're setting their own goals without a lot of teacher support, because they know where they're at so well that they can make the plan. And especially when we get to student-led conferences in the spring, it's a really powerful experience when they know exactly where they're at and they can very clearly talk to their parents and communicate about what's been going well, what areas they have opportunities for growth in still, and what they're doing about it.
I think that this is such an ongoing journey that we're going through. So I've come up with ideas on how I think it'd be awesome to try to track student progress. And I'm trying something different in all of my classes. So with my 6th graders, I've got the progress tracking booklets. With my 8th graders, I've got portfolios that we're filling out. I know other teachers are doing amazing things with bump it boards and magnets that they're moving across their whiteboards, big posters in their rooms that kids are interacting with. So there's so much innovation going on right now, and teachers are just taking it all in and putting all of their ideas out there, which I think is fantastic, because then we're going to come out with some really awesome ways to track progress over time.
Rounding is such a critical piece to all of the change and the cycle and the process of the growth, because that's where you find out in a one-on-one situation, what pieces are barriers and where the gaps are. And it's really important to just do it.
It helps you as a teacher continue that learning process in the classroom, because if they don't know where they're at, they don't have anything to work towards.
I think in the past, sometimes kids were that grade felt like an end point because they didn't know how to get to the next point. And so now, because we're really focusing on classroom community, that we succeed together, at least that's what I say in my classroom, I think kids are getting better at giving peer feedback and learning how to provide their peers with feedback on the work that they're doing. Learning how to use the feedback that they're given, and they're intentionally choosing to use that feedback because they know where their grades are at and where their proficiency lies.
The best part is what comes later. It's gonna be hard at first, there's gonna be challenges and struggles, and at the beginning, it might not look like you're making a lot of progress, but if you stick with it, and over time, keep tracking that progress. We like to graph the data so we can see it increase, and if they keep working at it, it will definitely start to increase, and that's when it's the most fun.